Okay, it is time to start working on the Opel GT. I've got the Jeep mobile, so it can be backed out of the garage anytime I need to pull this thing in. Of course, before I can start moving this thing around, we got to get it to actually start. So in theory, this was a rebuilt engine and was put in, and I don't think was ever really hooked up. It certainly was never started, and it never ran in this thing. So don't know where this engine came from or what its history was, but when it was put in, I don't know whether they broke the dipstick tube off while they were putting it in or what happened, but there is a remnant of the dipstick tube down in there, which I'm going to need to try and get out of there before I can put the new dipstick tube in. So we'll have to see if we can do something with that and then fill it with oil and see if she will turn over and maybe do a compression test and maybe see if I can get this thing to start. Okay, so this is the plan. I've got the easy outs and a couple of washers, so I figure if I take the one that fits inside of that remaining tube, if I get it in there, I get a washer on it so I can have something that I can grab, my 2-jar puller and my slide hammer, maybe I can get that thing out of there. We'll give it a shot. Okay, so I want a washer. And then the easy out. All right, so I got it in there. I think I got a pretty decent bite on it. So now I have the washer below it, and I hopefully can grab that, although it's pretty tight, so I don't know if I can. So we're going to give it a shot. If I can get the puller on there and give it a couple of whacks with the slide hammer, maybe I can slide that remains of the pipe out of there. However, I am assuming that this is going to be unsuccessful. This hook thing, I don't know if this hook thing is going to do it or not, because I can only get it from one side. It's not the right solution. It's just what I got. All right, let's see what happens. Get it under there. I got that. This is only like a 2-pound or something like that, I think. I do have a bigger slide hammer. That isn't touching it at all. It really looks like we're going to have to go underneath and do this whole project from below. I really don't want to. So we are not going to. I'm going to actually shift gears and take the oil, the valve cover off and check inside this engine a little bit. Maybe take some spark plugs out and throw a borescope down the spark plug holes and inspect this thing before I decide to jump into that much effort to if I'm going to have to pull this thing apart that much, I want to know whether I have to change this engine out first. So anyway, mission fail. Okay, I've got all the screws out of the valve cover, so we're going to take a look inside here and see what she looks like in this supposedly rebuilt engine. It actually looks pretty good. That appears to be a brand new timing chain. So actually it looks like very, very clean inside. Clearly a brand new gasket. Inside of the valve cover. I mean, if it were me, I would have cleaned this stuff up a little bit more probably. But it does look like new parts were put in. So with some fairly encouraging signs on the inside of the engine, I'm going to go ahead and move on from that dipstick. I don't think I'm going to worry about that right now. We're going to just go on and do a little bit more inspection on the engine and see if we can get it to start. Once I confirm that the engine is going to stay in the car, then I will worry about getting that dipstick tube out and replacing it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get some oil and a battery for this thing, and the next time we're going to actually see if we can get this thing to start.